Hi, everybody, and welcome back to La Capricornia with me, Priscilla Moreno. So, you guys, I'm super excited. This is my new studio, and I need to paint it and fix it up. I tried just a little bit so it didn't look so much like my garage, which it is, but it definitely needs some work, and I'm gonna start doing that probably starting tomorrow. But you guys, coming back to this podcast, I am going to kind of keep the same, way that I did the last episode. And I'm going to be pretty much channeling messages, pulling cards as I channel them. And I definitely have to say, this week, I don't know who else felt this, but I felt like I got so much clarity, but I still feel so lost. And I know that's like a weird thing to say, but I felt like I just got some motivation. I got some kudos. I got some call outs. I got so many good things going. But then at the same time, it was like, I still don't really know 100% what to do about some things. And yeah, so I don't know. But the first card is the Magician, which means that you can honestly create anything you want right now. Maybe this is where this feeling is coming from. Not just for me. I don't know if anybody else felt this way. I know some people that I talked to gave me the same, like, oh my gosh, yes, I didn't know how to describe it, but that is exactly how I feel. So maybe this is just our time to really create the life that we want, create the goals that we want. I know that's definitely one of my biggest things right now, where I'm like, I feel like I don't have any goals. I don't know what to make my goals right now. Not just professionally, but even now, just, in my personal life. And you guys, the Magician is definitely giving that vibe of you have what it takes to create it. It's all up to us. So definitely follow your heart on all of this. And trust me, it does take a bit of time. The next card is the Five of Pentacles, and it's in reverse. So the Five Pentacles is feeling like you're left out in the cold. Obviously, the reversed is you're definitely not feeling that anymore. And I do feel like you're coming out of this where maybe you're kind of like feeling down and just like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be able to do anything. Or I am not being noticed. I'm not getting, taken seriously. I really do get like those key messages coming for you. And I'm definitely feeling like you're not going to feel like that. Like, it's like, hey, you're being noticed. Your hard work isn't going, you know, isn't just being put out there with no recognition. I do feel like an opportunity either presented itself, which I did say was going to happen in February, or it will present itself. And, it's going to be something that maybe you thought, hey, I never thought, I would have this, be offered to me, which is funny because actually I had something happen to me coming into this week where someone said some really good things about me. And, I was kind of like, I never thought, not that they wouldn't say good things about me, but that they would consider me to be, part of this, without going too much into detail, this group, this circle, I kind of saw this circle as in like, you'd have to do all these things to get into this circle, go to school, do this and that, jump through hoops. And just to get that kind of like, hey, you definitely can be part of the circle. It gave me that little boost of confidence, like, yeah, I can. I definitely could be. So maybe that's just like what you're getting. You're getting something that's pulling you out. Like I said, it was just some clarity for you, like giving you that strength, that motivation. But yeah, I'm still kind of getting like it's a little fuzzy, and I get it. The next card is the Page of Pentacles. So as you can see, he's looking at this coin. He's kind of like wondering, and this is the vibe that I'm getting, like, what should I do with this coin? What am I supposed to do with this? You're just holding it, just deciding like, what am I going to do with this? Which could also mean something financially. But I'm getting more as in like you're getting little sprinkles of things. So again, like I said, you might have gotten like a positive, like again, somebody said, hey, you'd be really good at this. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then maybe it's just like little pentacles that keep falling out. It's kind of like those pennies that you find as you're like walking, out of the store, which you're kind of like, it's just a penny, but you still pick it up, because let's admit it, we still pick it up at the end of the day, right? But then at the end of the, by the time you get to your car, I'm sorry, you guys, if I'm talking too fast, but by the time you get to your car, you have like maybe a bag full of pennies, or you have something, right? And it's kind of leading you as in like, okay, you know what? Maybe I should start savings, or maybe I should start doing this. Which I am still very much on my financial thing. So, hey, you never know. Maybe this is what it's telling me, like, hey, watch your coin, watch what you're doing with it. And then like another message too that I have gotten, at least in this past week, which I definitely would like to share, is definitely, I feel like right now is a huge time to have that confidence. And I know I've said this plenty of times, especially to my coworkers. So if you guys hear this, is exactly what I say. I am so confident in what I do and what I know, and I know how good I am at at like my job and things like that, right? I'm also confident in the way that I parent, the way things go. But I do feel like right now, again, like I'm telling you, there's just something coming in where we can always learn. We can always, dedicate time to something. We can always, start working towards a goal. And it doesn't matter the age, it doesn't matter what obstacles you have. I really do feel that as long as you have that willpower, as long as you push for it, you can make it happen. I think I've told everyone this before, but even like getting to, the position that I am in now and where I'm trying to end up with at the end of my, career goal, it's not something I would have thought, I would have been able to get to without having to do certain things, but I'm going, I'm getting there. I'm getting it. And it's definitely, that can happen all around. You can always learn, you can always move forward, and you never know what it's going to bring to you or who you're going to meet that'll help you get to that goal, even if it seems far-fetched. Like, let's say I just decide right now I'm just going to become a doctor. Which I know some people out there are going to be like, oh, you cannot skip anything, there's a huge thing. Well, what if I'm just really good at it? What if I start going to school? What if I start doing this? I intern, I start, getting amazing at it. Yes, I would still have to obviously do, my hours and things like that and all the things that come with it. But maybe I'm just really good to where I'm just moving up like right after another, like just because of my skills or because of who I know or things like that, which I know sometimes people are like, really? But hey, sometimes it does happen like that. It can, it can be like a huge shift and you're just like making your way up, because you are putting that work into it. Okay, the next card I have is the Page of Swords in reverse. So again, I do feel like there might be some obstacles that are coming your way, but I also feel that you are just like, you're really just pushing them aside. And I'm telling you, I do feel that's what's coming into a lot of learning. And that's probably where I was trying to get to. And I don't know if I made a good point of it, but that message is coming in strong for me was the learning part of it. Like I can always learn. There's always things that I can improve on. I actually told my coworker a story about, me watching this video, and I always feel like I'm a good parent. I'm not perfect, but I think I'm a pretty good parent. I'm tough on my kids. I'm, you know very much as in like I know what I'm doing, right? In my head I'm like, oh, I'm good. And this video popped up on my feed, and at first I kind of looked at it and was kind of like, you know it's one of those things where they're going to tell you, be kind to your kids no matter what. And I'm sorry if I'm offending anyone, but I am such not a super gentle parenting person. I can be, but the minute they cross lines, I'm like, WTF. And I hate to admit it, but I do that, right? So there are times where, like, just the other day, you guys, my daughter kept jumping on the couch, jumping on the couch, jumping all over the living room, and I'm like, stop, calm down, you're gonna break something. Sure enough, she happened to like kick one of the I had like a chair. She happened to kick it, and the TV that I was gonna put up on the wall slipped because it was leaning on the chair. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me, you know? And obviously plugging it in and realizing that the TV was broken, of course I started, oh my gosh, what did I just tell you? Blah, blah, blah. So I'm upset. I'm like, oh, this TV isn't working. I was going to put it on the wall. How much is this going to cost me to replace? And, I did. I got upset. And then, you know, I watched this video, and this video was talking about how, like, when you yell at your kids, you should try to go back and, own up to what you just did, because I know afterwards I feel horrible. Like, I do. I feel horrible. I'm like, oh, I just yelled at her. It was an accident. I have accidents all the time, and wouldn't like people to yell at me and things like that. We start getting into that mode, right? Where we feel sorry about just, getting upset at our kids. So I went back to her, and, I addressed it kind of how that video had talked about. I addressed what I did, and I explained, that I had gotten upset and that it wasn't right for me to start, raising my voice and being upset about it. But that I would try to work harder to, not go off and be more understanding and stuff. And I saw the difference just even in that. And again, it's not something that I thought I was gonna need, but at the end of the day, I mean, it helped me become, I feel, a better parent and address certain things differently. So it's definitely nice to, like, take that small little learning, and actually use it, and, see that look on my kid's face, and even for me to realize, like, I'm not perfect. They're not perfect. And, I need to tone it down a bit sometimes and, like, realize, because at the end of the day, when I really, really, really thought about it all, I actually was not going to be using that TV. Well, I was going to put it actually in my daughter's room. But I mean, hey, ended up working out. I got my new TV for the living room. I am going to have to buy one for my daughter's room. But at least I know that, to be very honest with you, my daughter's room is still not ready for her. So it gives me a little bit of time, and I don't have to go and spend all this money on TVs right now because, we broke a TV. So it definitely kind of gave me like that, hey, calm down, you're exaggerating, you're fine. And it's gonna be okay. So definitely, I don't know if that message helped anybody, and sorry if I got a little too personal there with my life, but yeah, like, you never know what can come at you. And, like, I'm telling you, even stuff that pops up on your feed, sometimes I do find myself that I'm scrolling through social media, and I'm kind of feeling a certain type of way about something, and it's just like all these messages, of you're strong, you can do this, I overcame this, or even sometimes very specific to how I'm feeling about something, or like, or how to, like, focus. And I'm just like, wow, I take that as in, like, I know people are gonna say, like, well, it's the algorithm and what you're liking and stuff, but sometimes I don't even try. Like, I don't even try, and it's just like, I'm just feeling a certain way. I open my phone, and it's just like, what the heck, So it's very different, the way I get messages. Like I said, I get them different ways, and sometimes I just gotta recognize it. Okay, and the last card I'm gonna pull is the World. So the World card, definitely, this is a very good card to have. I do feel kind of like I'm saying, you're creating your own world, you're creating anything you want, you're manifesting all these things. I do feel you're getting that confidence inside of you, which is actually something that I am trying to manifest more of. Yes, you guys are probably thinking, like, she has her own podcast and she does this or whatever. She's, she should be very confident. I'm not always confident, even if I show it or don't. But definitely, I just feel like we're manifesting all these beautiful things, and I feel it more inside of us. And I think it's going to, go outward into our world. Kind of like that World card, into the things that we want, to the things that we're looking for, the things that just fit into our lives perfect right now. Okay, and your guided card is Inner voice. Thank you, angels, for guiding me through my inner voice. So I do feel like you're basically telling yourself things. And it's funny because I was actually just talking about this morning with a friend of mine about how, like, sometimes I will tell myself something and then I'm like, no, and then it comes true. And sometimes I'm like, I don't know. And sometimes it's like impossible things, like not impossible, but like things that you wouldn't think, right? Like as in like, oh, I think, you know, this all of a sudden is going to turn into this or something, right? And it has nothing to do with me. It really has nothing to do with me. Maybe it's like a world thing or something to do in the news or something. And then next thing you know, it happens. And then I'm just like, what the heck? And again, I feel like it's like, your inner voice, your inner you see certain things. One of the things actually too that goes with this inner voice that I've been seeing is that sometimes our future selves will be sending us messages, and the reason why we are so set on certain things is because our future self is like throwing things at us like, hey, keep coming this way, you're gonna get it because I have it and I'm trying to help you get to it too. And that could be like another message too, because yeah, I definitely had that happen. I actually had a dream the other day. I literally asked my guides, like, I really need you to come to me, interpret what I need to like worry about right now. And it actually spoke very clear to me about some things. And I was just kind of like, yes, 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 yes. I see what I need to work on. And it really came to me in a dream. And it wasn't very direct either. So it's not like somebody came up to me in my dream and was like, this is what you need to work on. It was very weird. It was one of those like where you're doing and saying things, but you're still dreaming and you're like realizing that it's not really you doing or saying things because you're thinking differently. If that makes any sense. But yeah, so that message came through with some stuff that my dream self said. And it's funny because I even thought about this afterwards. I was like, what if it's my future self and it's talking and I'm watching my future self in my dream talk about, what changed them or what something they changed. And it just, I don't know, it's an interesting thought. Okay, and so your next guided card is Ocean Distance Journey. I do feel like you do have like a journey coming ahead of you. And maybe it's maybe it's whatever you're gonna decide to do, whatever is coming your way. It's the journey of actually trying to figure it out, going after it. But whatever it is, it's gonna be amazing, you guys. I really do feel that. Oh, I just dropped all my cards. But it's gonna be amazing. I do feel too, like with that journey card, it's something that like kind of like I said, you felt like it was far-fetched. And I do get that, like a lot of that feeling of like, I didn't think this would happen. It just seems so far away. It just seems like a long time. It just a lot like distance. So I think that's just the guide's way of telling you like, yes, I know, I get it, but go after it. I don't care if you're over here like, oh my gosh, this is a 10-year plan. Go after it. I know, like, even with me getting this home that I live in, I at first was kind of like, oh, I don't know, because it didn't have some of the things I was looking for. It's not 100% my dream home. But then when I really thought about it, I was like, well, to be able to get to this next level, this is actually going to be a huge stepping stone for me. And it's going to happen, in my mind, I'm going to do this in 5 years. And, 5 years are going to go like that. And did I really not want to do anything and then get told maybe you should have done this 5 years ago, when this is probably the next step to go? So definitely, pay attention to that. I do feel like the distance is a little bit more of like time. Like it's more time that I think you're looking at things like, oh, it's so far away. It's, yeah, I think that's what's kind of like making you worried, which I know people sometimes are like, you only have a certain amount of time, so we got to make all these decisions. And it's very true to a certain point, but don't let yourself be pressured either, sometimes you do need that time, you do need that space, and it will happen in that moment, because if not, you're just gonna be left like, ugh, so definitely that's the message for this week. Let me know what you think, or if you guys have any comments about it. And let me know if you guys like this format, the way that I'm doing like my messages slash readings. If not, then yeah, I can work on it. We'll see what we do. But have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.